Amigos, welcome one, welcome all. It's time for another exciting edition of The Show with No Name on Vaughn Radio. Now get ready to explore English as we take you to new heights. So hold on to your hats because it's time for liftoff.
10,
Come on.
8, 7,
6,
6,
5, 4. Come on, I'm faster.
3, 2, 1.
Get on with it. Eso es vamos ya.
Lift off.
Here we go.
Lift off.
Let's lift off together, amigos. Come on. Come on.
Get ready.
Yes.
Hold on to your hat.
Yes.
Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hat. Get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time on Vaughn Radio. It's the show with no
Come on, let's get pumped. Let's go. Welcome, amigos. Welcome. It's time for another exciting edition of The Show with No Name. Thanks to all of you who join us day in, day out. Es otra forma de decir día tras día. Day in, day out. It's a pleasure to have you here with us as we laugh and learn. And I imagined you were already listening to The Pro Bow Show with Rob Grams. You can catch it every morning here on Vaughn Radio. Followed by Fitz and his program, No Excuses. An awesome program which will guide you through the English language using the Vaughn method. And speaking of Vaughn, mark your calendars, folks. It's right around the corner. The 26th of March at 7 p.m. You can meet Richard Vaughn at a meet and greet that he's doing. And it is at Biblioteca Municipal Eugenio Trias. It's in the Retiro Park. And it's first come, first served. So it's free, but once it's full, well, you're not going to be able to sit down. And believe me, Richard Vaughn usually packs the places he goes to. Well, he's an interesting guy. Fascinating. I had lunch with him a couple weeks ago, and it was like a 3-hour lunch. And I was not bored, and quite the contrary. I was like, I could be with this guy for another 3 hours because he's so interesting and he's, lived so much. So check him out the 26th of March at 7 p.m. at the library at the Retiro Park. He's going to be there with all his amigos. All right, well, folks, it's a pleasure to be here with you once again. And today is a very special day for our amigos in, I was going to say in Ireland, but really it's celebrated all over the world. And I'm talking about St. Patrick's Day. That's right, folks. It is officially St. Patrick's Day. So as my friends say in Gaelic, sláinte. Sláinte is how we would say cheers. Cheers. So I'm sure Fitz's program was extra special today. He was telling you all about the patron saint of Ireland, St. Patrick, the one who drove out, espantar, echar, the one who, del verbo drive, the one who drove out all the snakes. Well, I've got to say something. I'm already a fan of St. Patrick's because I hate snakes. If there's one phobia that I have, it is snakes. I mean, I get paralyzed, petrified when I see snakes. So thanks. Big shout out to St. Patrick. I hope you guys are celebrating today with a Guinness. Hey, there's no better way than to celebrate with a Guinness. And of course, some bangers and mash. And bangers are what they call sausages, salchichas. And mash is another way we call mashed potatoes. You say puré de patata. And bangers and mash, oh, that is delicious. And if you wash it down with a Guinness, oh man, I love it. And don't forget, you've also got Guinness pie. Have you ever tried this? They're very popular in the UK and in Ireland. They're pies, no, son como hojaldres. And inside you have like stewed meat. Stewed as guisado. And well, I don't have to tell you that the Guinness pie is stewed. That's right. It's meat and vegetables that are stewed in Guinness. Oh, my mouth is starting to water. I'm drooling all over my microphone. But folks, we'll be celebrating here. Hey, you guys have a Guinness for me, because obviously I can't have a Guinness during the show. A, I don't have any Guinness, and B, it's way too early to have any alcohol. But you know what? We can have a virtual drink together here on the show as we celebrate this holiday, which I've got to tell you something. In New York, it's one of the biggest parades of the year. Okay. It's a huge holiday. In Chicago, it's incredible. They dye the river. Now, dye es morir, pero si lo escribimos D-Y-E es teñir. So they dye the river green. I mean, it's a serious holiday. In fact, I think Fitz said it's probably celebrated as much or more outside of Ireland than inside. Well, also remember how many Irish people there are in New York. That's one of the greatest things I used to love about living in New York. I don't know if this is the case now, but when I lived there and you went into an Irish pub, you were greeted by an Irish guy or an Irish gal. Yeah. Oh, good morning. How you doing? Good afternoon. And I was like, oh, wow, this is really authentic. So wherever you're celebrating, have an awesome day today. And thank you so much for joining us on this English adventure. Let's kick off with our first challenge of the day. It's the Say What soundbite.
Say what?
Yes,
What?
yes, yes. Say what? Say what? I think this one's going to be a little bit difficult, folks. Also, another event I just told you about, Richard Vaughn's meet and greet on the 26th of March at 7 p.m. Well, you've got another appointment with us, and that is on the 7th of April. This is right after Easter, justo después de Semana Santa. And Jules Linares will be hosting a Vaughn Radio Trivia Night. Again, it's the 7th of April. It's at 8 p.m. And it is at Calle San Vicente Ferrer 33. That's in Madrid, in the Malasaña area. If you're going by Metro, Tribunal is right. It's about a 2-minute walk from Tribunal. And you don't get much more central than that. So for those of you who live in Madrid, and myself included, it's an easy place to get to. Even though I live kind of far from the center of Madrid, you know, it's not like I have to go to Las Ventas. That would be seriously far away. But this is as centrally located as you can get. It's a free event. It's awesome. And I hope you guys will join us on the 7th of April, where Jules Linares, the host of Let's Get Random, will be putting us all to the test as we enjoy some brewskis. Brewskis, that's another way to say beers. A brew or a brewski. Well, like you guys, birras, right? You got different ways to say it as well. All right, so join us. 2 awesome events. They're both free. And again, if you want more information about those events, all you have to do is go over to grupovon.com. You can find it on our website, or if you're on social media, you can follow us on Facebook, on X, on LinkedIn, on what other ones are there? Instagram. You can check out your search bar, whatever platform you use the most, whether it be YouTube as well. We've got hundreds of hours of video on YouTube. Se aprende inglés con Vaughan. Just search for Grupo Vaughan or Vaughan, Vaughn, however you want to call us, in the search bar. Also, if you go to our website, there will be links that'll take you to any of our social media platforms. And this way, you'll be in the know. You'll get some content as well. And yeah, we'll see you there. Excellent events coming up for the spring, la primavera. Gotta love spring. Man, spring is an amazing time of year. It's a time of rebirth. It's a time when, you know, we start shedding layers, right? Layers son capas, and to shed is what a snake does with its skin. Mira, hablando de snake, so shed, cobertizo, yeah, también. Mudar. Oh, I didn't know that word. So mudar de casa and mudar la piel is this. Aha. Well, now I know it. Y mira, es un double trouble, así que es una palabra que yo ya sabía, pero no sabía que tenía este otro uso. So to shed. Also in the United States, the word shed also means usually next to the house, we have so many things like a lawnmower, rakes, and things, outdoor things, that many people have a shed. And it says here that's called cobertizo caseta. So that could be a double trouble in Spanish and in English, right? So in English, the snake shed its skin behind the shed. And in Spanish, antes de mudarse, la serpiente mudó la piel. Does that work? Rara vez es un double trouble en inglés y en español, aunque no sea igual, pero tiene dos significados in ambos. All right, well, my amigos, as always, we are playing with the language, because if you can play with it, then you've mastered it, right? Si puedes jugar con ellos, hacer chistes, juegos de palabras, pues eso es una señal que eres, que estás cómodo, you're comfortable in the language, and instead of the language having its way with you, haciendo lo que quiere contigo, you are having your way with the language. Think of it as like a power struggle, no, una lucha de poder. No, tú no me vas a dominar, yo te voy a dominar a ti, inglés. Hey, if it works, whatever floats your boat, lo que te mole, lo que funcione para ti. All right, so as always, in our Say What soundbite, we're going to be hearing a native person speaking English. I want you guys to listen carefully, and I want to see what you can extract from this audio. Hopefully, you'll be able to get the whole thing before the end of the show. I think it's going to be quite challenging today, but hey, we'll see. But at first, I just want you to tell me what you heard in your best English. All right, is everybody ready? Here's your Say What soundbite for the first time.
I've been offered a tryout with the Hamilton Mustangs. I gotta play junior if I'm ever gonna play pro. All the scouts are gonna be there.
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughn Town, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughn Town, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovaughn.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughn Town. Pop quiz. Come on. Pop quiz.
quiz.
Pop quiz.
Yeah.
Come on.
Let's go.
Yes. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, I want all your energy, folks. Give it to me. Give me that funk, that sweet, that shit, that funky stuff. It is our pop quiz here on the show with no name. Also, got some more information for you. As always, you know me, I am a fountain, una fuente. You say the same thing. A source, también decimos, of information. And well, folks, the information I've got for you over here is awesome. This is the fact that we are going to be, this show, the show with no name, is going to be on prime time. That's right. After over 15 years here at the worst possible time slot in any radio station anywhere in the world, we're going to be hitting those that rush hour, the way in and the way out of work. So that's wonderful news for the show with no name. That'll bring us more followers, obviously, because, well, we've got tons of people who listen to this show, but many people, due to the time, they have to download it and listen to it at a different time, because 10:30, most people, right, are starting work. And unless you have a job that you work at a different timetable, or you also maybe are able to listen at work, you know, between dealing with customers and things like this, well, then it's really difficult. 10:30, I mean, everywhere. You can see it on any chart. Cualquier chart. How do you say chart in Spanish? A chart is estos chart. Gráfica. On any chart, you'll just see a nosedive that happens at around 9:45, 10 a.m. on any radio station. That's natural. So we are going to be on the air every day, and this is from 6 to 8 p.m. This is as of Easter week, so right after Easter week, and then we'll be repeated in the mornings as well. Now, I don't remember. Let me check what time that one is. But the live show, the show that corresponds to that day, will be on from 6 to 8 p.m. That's right, 6 to 8 p.m. And let me see, where's this email from Rob? Oh, I've got a lot of emails from you guys in our question of the week, which I'll give you that too in just a moment. Here it is, Rob Grams. So yes, some changes. Alberto moves from his current time slot. We say ranura de tiempo, time slot, and it'll be on, it's from 6 to 8 p.m. every day, all right? And then you'll hear that same show repeated the following day from 6:30 to 8:30 a.m. So it'll be perfect. It'll be right during the morning commute and the afternoon commute. That's great news for the show with no name, because that just means we're going to be able to be heard by many more people when we're live, right? When we're on the Vaughn Radio app. As I said, most people who listen to this program download the podcast, right? Because of the time slot. So wonderful news. Now you can listen to the show on your way into work, on your way out of work, or again, whenever you want, if you listen to the podcast. Also, let me give you guys our question of the week. This week's question of the week, we'll take a look at it on Thursday. As you know, for the time being, we're doing this section on Thursdays. And this week's question's a fun one, I think. What's the first thing you do when you get home from a trip? Okay, a vacation or a trip. What is the first thing you usually do when you get home from a trip? And the good thing about these kind of questions, there's no wrong answer. Just tell us. And obviously tell us in your best English. If you need to rehearse it, do it. No, si hay que ensayarlo, ensáyalo. No problem at all. And then you can record it on your phone and you can send it to this email address, aalonso@grupovon.com. Again, A. Alonso, hay dos A's ahí. A. Alonso at grupovon.com. All right, now we're going to look at our pop quiz. In today's pop quiz, we're looking at Inglés para viajar. Hey, why not? If we're going to be taking a look at some travel vocabulary in our question of the week, I thought this was quite appropriate. Also, with Easter week, I know many of you are probably traveling. I won't be. We're staying local this year. So if you're in Madrid, give me a holler. Dame un toque. But hey, some of you will be taking trains, buses, planes. And well, this is some wonderful vocabulary. It's Inglés para viajar. And as with all our materials, you can pick it up at our website, grupovon.com. There's an area that's the tienda, or you can stop by in person, or you can pick it up wherever fine books are sold. So let's listen to this little excerpt from Inglés para viajar. And of course, I don't want you to passively listen. I want you to actively listen. That's why I'll have a couple questions for you afterwards.
Hacer el check-in. Key vocabulary for checking in. Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi. Wake-up call, servicio de despertador. Staff, personal. Front desk or reception, recepción. Ensuite, baño privado. Bellboy, botones. To dial, marcar. Towels, toallas. Do not disturb, no molestar. Housekeeping, servicio de limpieza. Cot, cama plegable.
Exprésate bien.
Key phrases for checking in properly.
¿A qué hora es el desayuno?
What time is breakfast?
¿La habitación tiene una caja fuerte?
Does the room have a safe?
¿Tiene baño privado?
Is there an ensuite toilet?
¿Tienen servicio de despertador?
Do you do wake-up calls?
¿Tienen algunos mapas o folletos?
Do you have any maps or brochures?
¿Cómo me conecto al Wi-Fi?
How do I get on the Wi-Fi?
¿Con cuánta frecuencia cambian la ropa de cama?
How often do you change the bed linen?
¿Qué número marco para la recepción?
What number do I dial for the front desk?
¿Tienen una cama plegable extra?
Do you have an extra cot?
¿Cómo funciona el aire acondicionado?
How does the air conditioning work? Key grammar for checking in.
The zero conditional y las reglas de tu alojamiento. Si llegas al hotel antes de las 10, tienes que esperar para hacer el check-in.
If you get to the hotel before 10, you have to wait to check in.
¿Cuánto hay que pagar si tomo algo del minibar?
How much do I have to pay if I have a drink from the minibar?
Si tomas una bebida del minibar, tienes que pagarla.
If you have a drink from the minibar, you have to pay for it.
¿Qué debo marcar si tengo que llamar a recepción?
What number should I dial if I need to call the front desk?
Si quiere hablar con el servicio de limpieza, marque 01.
If you'd like to speak to housekeeping, dial 01. Key vocabulary for getting directions. Pedir indicaciones. Tourist Information Office. Oficina de Turismo. Metro. Metro. On the left-hand side. A mano izquierda. On the right-hand side. A mano derecha. Near. Cerca. Far away. Lejos. In front of. Delante de. Behind. Detrás. Next to. Al lado de. Between. Entre. On foot. A pie.
All right, my amigos, some awesome vocabulary that you will use. Well, if you're planning to stay at a hotel during Easter break, and obviously if you're planning on staying at a hotel in London or in Ireland or Scotland, hey, a lot of times they're cheaper than some of the destinations in Spain. Yeah, I was looking at it. And I was like, wait a second. So I can go for a week to London for what it costs for 2 days in Marbella or Mallorca? Well, I know where I'm going. All right. Well, folks, we'll be right back with much more. So stick around. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. This is part 2 of today's show with No Name here on Vaughn Radio. Don't forget to listen to all the amazing programs here, all designed to get you excited about English. Hell yeah. After this show, you've got Speaking with Confidence with Ale. You've also got the Lunchtime Show with Rob Grams. You've got Speak English with Ruby. The Salad with Dave Boys. Don't forget about Chris Frank and Frankly Speaking. Also, Jessica Fernandez and the Hour to Empower. And in the mornings, you got the Pro Bow Show and No Excuses right before this show. Tons of awesome shows hosted by my friends, mis amigos. Son mis amigos. True story. We are definitely friends. Also, folks, even though Drive Time and Richard Vaughn Live are not recording new shows at the moment, you still have repeats every day. And as I always say, you can learn just as much from a repeat than a live show, right? Consider it a review. And let's be honest, I doubt you've heard every single live show. Have you? If you have, wow. Kudos. Enhorabuena. Wow. All right. Let me give you what I want from today's pop quiz. The first one is, well, they use this word. There are several uses for the word here. Now, the first one is cuando pides que te despierten a tal hora, right? Now, it's strange these days because most people just set an alarm, alarm, and we don't put an alarm. We set an alarm, right? Los dos son verbos muy fáciles de conjugar. Put, set. We set an alarm, and, well, it's not as common, but it also means toque de atención o llamada de atención, right? When something happens that you can take as a warning, un aviso, right? When, I'll give you an example without using the word. He was a heavy smoker. Then the doctors found something in his lungs. And that was un toque de atención for him. Okay, por ejemplo. So, toque de atención, llamada de atención, y también literalmente una llamada para despertar a alguien. As always, use it in context. This way, I know you know what you're talking about. Number 2, they said the word bellboy. Okay, that's great. Bell girl, bell boy, pero hay uno que encaja a todos, right? It's like you can say waiter or waitress, or you can just say server, right? Así, a server is not masculine or feminine. There's no masculine or feminine. It's just server, right? Can you tell our server we're ready to order, right? It's another way to avoid saying him or her because you don't know. in some cases, if the server hasn't been to the table, you don't know if you're going to have a guy or a gal waiting on you. To wait on you is atendiéndote en cuanto a sentados en una mesa. So what is a unisex way to say botones? I love that word in Spanish. El botón. Well, it makes sense, ¿no? El que da los botones. All right. So it actually makes sense in English. I'll tell you that. All right. So that is number 2. Use it in context as always. And then we heard the reception desk, the front desk. But there's also another word we use, and it's good to know because it also can be not just in a hotel, but in any building. So this is a more, a wider word, no más amplio, and it would be a synonym for recepción, vestíbulo, recibidor, right? And a lot of times, pues lo tienes que saber porque tiene una letra el ascensor. So es 1, 2, 3, 4 y luego la L. And you're like, L? What is L? Well, that's that word, que sería vestíbulo recibidor. All right? Again, it's a word. You can say the reception desk, the front desk, but if you're talking about the whole area, no, porque a veces hay un bar, unos sofás, right? You got a whole area there. How would you say that floor, esa planta, that part of any building? If you go into the Cuatro Torres over here in Madrid, you've got, the different companies on each floor, pero tienes el vestíbulo recibidor. Okay, and those are your 3 challenges. They're all hotel related today. Just be careful. Don't be one of those people who says, hotel, right? Hotel, right? We're going to the hotel. It's a word I've heard pronounced incorrectly many, many times. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. Un aviso. All right. So those are your challenges. Number 1, un toque de atención. Number 2, botones, pero que puede valer para hombre o mujer. And the last one, otra palabra para decir recepción, vestíbulo recibidor. All right. Now, let's see. What else have we? Oh, let me give you the Say What soundbite. I'm going to give it to you right now for the second time, and then we can talk about what you heard. As I said, it's quite challenging today, but as always, do the best you can. Here it is for the second time.
I've been offered a tryout with the Hamilton Mustangs. I gotta play junior if I'm ever gonna play pro. All the scouts are gonna be there.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah. Wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así da gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damian, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
Vaughantienda.com.
It's the Shit.
That's right, folks. This book is the shit. It's available at Von Tienda and wherever fine books are sold. You can pick that up along with all my other books. My first one, which is English Everywhere. The second one is This Book is the Milk, the bestseller. Then you've got This Book is the Milk 2. Then you've got This Book is the Shit. That's a trilogy, the three of them. And then you've got English on the Go, which is all about traveling and discovering things on the go. Tal como dice el título, ¿no? Sobre la marcha, por ahí. So hopefully you guys will pick up those books. I imagine a lot of you already have my books, but hey, just in case, well, you can pick them up at Von Tienda. Von Tienda. We've got offices as well. If you live in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, we'd love to meet you. Stop by, pásate, and we'll chat with you. And even you can get a free level test if you're up for it. Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't you? Right? That's first, it's free. And secondly, don't you want to know where you stand? I know I'm always curious with my Spanish. Have I gotten better? Have I improved throughout the years? You know, these are things I constantly ask myself. Do I sound better? Do I feel more confident? I mean, the second one, I can answer myself. Of course, I feel much more confident speaking Spanish since I've been living here and using the language. But do I sound better? You guys have to answer that one. I can't answer that one because you can't. You can hear yourself, but it's not the same. But I feel more comfortable. I know more vocabulary than I've ever known. So it feels good to know that I'm working in the right direction. Que voy por buen camino, encarrilado. We say to be on the right track. Track is vía, carril, right? To be on the right track. And if you're on the wrong track or off track, pues evidentemente es que no vas bien. Now, I can tell you from all of you who participate in our question of the week, you have definitely improved. Definitely. I mean, you guys sound great. And the most important part and the hardest part at the same time is making sure your personality shines through. Ya que brilla tu personalidad y a veces es difícil si estás pensando, estoy usando la forma del verbo correcto, esto es pluscuamperfecto. Sure, it's hard because you're trying to think of, am I saying it right? And so you can't just relax and be yourself. I mean, even me, somebody who's been learning your language for 48 years, I still don't feel as comfortable speaking Spanish as I do in English. It's just, that's the way it goes. So I think the real goal as somebody who has got a native level of Spanish, it's not just to, use a lot of great vocabulary, to not make any mistakes, but it's to have that confidence that lets your personality shine through. And as I tell you guys in our question of the week, wow, that was funny. That was great. That's a wonderful sign. So keep up the good work, and I urge you all to participate in our question of the week. This week it is, when you go on vacation and you get back home, what's the first thing you do? All right, keep it clean. No, dude, say whatever you want. Te iba a decir, no, pues me voy a mi baño y planto un pino enorme. Okay, hey, pero me lo tienes que decir en inglés, eh? All right, let's go on over to our comments over here. We've got some students participating, ready to rock and roll. There's Anix. She says, morning. Oh my God. I am so out of shape. I couldn't catch a single word of say what. Well, I'll tell you something. It's really tough today. Bastante difícil hoy. So don't stress it too much. Just do the best you can. And before the end of the show, we will demystify it. All right, let's see. There's Chris Valrol checking in. She says, hiya, folks. Hello, Chris. Wonderful to have you here with us. We've got some superstars here in our class this morning. Anix Crisvalrol. There's Born to Iron Man. And he says, morning show with no namers. How are things going? Me encanta que omitiste la G, tío. Porque yo rara vez en mi vida he usado esa G del gerundio. I would never say it's raining. Ahora lo estoy exagerando porque it's raining. Are you going? ¿Y sabes cómo sé que nunca lo uso? Esto es, I have a mirror, guys. Tengo un espejo en casa. My daughter. I know how I speak English because I hear her. And she's getting it from me. So when she says, Dad, what are you doing? Are you going? Who's singing? I'm like, O sea, nunca ponemos esa G, porque es incómodo ponerlo además. But again, if you're taking a Cambridge exam or an Oxford exam, well, you're going to want to write that G. No lo pongas así. Pero a la hora de hablar, I'm trying to think of British people. How you doing, mate? How you doing? How you doing, mate? I don't even think the British pronounce it very often either. I know Americans barely pronounce it. All you have to do is listen to songs, and you won't hear it in there. We're going down, down. Me estoy inventando la canción, pero going, eating, seeing, right? I'm sure you'll hear it in many, many songs. De hecho, muchas veces, como Born to Iron Man lo ha puesto, ponemos ese apóstrofe y quitamos la G, right? So these are little tricks. Again, one thing is written English, and another thing is spoken English. And I'm not worried about the written part. Not with my students. Why? Well, you can always have help from AI to write it. Write me an email that's applying for a job. Okay, pues ya te han ayudado con eso, pero nadie te puede ayudar a hablar. Oh, bueno, tu profesor. But you get what I'm saying. Nobody can be there to say, dilo así, asá, when you're in an interview. So this is the part that I like to concentrate on here, the way you sound, not so much the way you write. It is important to write well, of course, but most of you are learning English to speak, to understand, right? To use the language, not just to write emails and chat with people. And chats are usually informal anyway, right? You think I write proper British English when I'm chatting with Rob? No fucking way. What is proper British English anyway? So I love it. Born to Iron Man, showing us a little bit of your totally nativeness over there. A ver dónde está el totally native. How are things going? Going. Muy bien. Omisión de la G del gerundio. Let's see. Chris Valrol, she's got something to say about our Say What soundbite over here. All right, Chris. She says, I heard a guy whose accent I can't pinpoint. All right, I'll give you a clue. He's from my country. I don't know exactly where, but he is from my country. Well, it doesn't matter where he's from, really, because he's playing a character in this movie. So it is from a movie. I'll give you a clue. Let me give you, I'll tell you what. It's from a movie about hockey. We don't say hockey or Disney. It's hockey. Disney, la E-Y-S-I. Disney. Hockey. Yeah, my daughter told me the other day, she goes, all my friends say Disney. I'm like, it's not Disney. It's Disney. So, and my wife's like, pues en español es Disney. I'm like, sí, pero no, es una empresa americana. Pues llámalo Sprite entonces, en vez de Sprite. Y ya acabamos antes, ¿no? Ya que estamos haciendo lo que queremos con los sonidos. So the person's from the States, Chris, and he says he's been, I don't know where, and I'd say he mentions Hamilton, American, and he also says all these guys or gals are going to be there. All right, well, I'll tell you the Hamilton part. That's the name of a team, the Hamilton Mustangs. ¿Ves, Chris? Tú me das un poco, yo te doy un poco ahí. So he's talking about the Hamilton Mustangs. Again, it's a movie about hockey, so that's the hockey team he's talking about. And maybe if I'm telling you that it has to do with hockey and sports, well, maybe you can, put two and two together. Hopefully that'll help you. But great job, Grace. She says, but I didn't get the gist of it. No pillé el hilo, la idea principal. I didn't get the gist of it. All right, well, you're pretty spot on there. He did say something about Hamilton, and he talks about people that are going to be there, but he doesn't say guys or gals. He doesn't say guys or gals. Te doy la palabra. Y así, mira, ya avanzamos un poco. The word he uses is scouts. ¿Te suena? Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. Well, a scout is un explorador o exploradora, but also a scout is cazatalentos, right? So a talent scout, we would say, or we could also say, he's scouting. Se usa como verbo también, ¿no? So, a ver, scout, buscar. So he's scouting new talent. He's a scout for the NBA. Lo pillas? Okay, so I've given you a little bit of background there. Hopefully that'll help you figure it all out. Again, do the best you can. And if you do that, well, you can always rest assured. All right, let's see. Chris also is participating in today's pop quiz. She says, could I have a wake-up call at 7 a.m., please? Great, a wake-up call. Excellent. Now, we also said es un toque de atención, right? Wow, I almost crashed the car. That was a wake-up call. I'm going to drive a little more carefully in the future. No, voy a conducir con un poco más de tranquilidad cuando conduzco, because whoa. So it's when you have like a scare, something happens that makes you realize, oh shit, that could have gotten really serious right there. It happened to me when I was snowboarding. I remember I used to be a wild child on my snowboard, and I would just shooting all over the place, up and down and flying around and up glaciers and down glaciers and going off piste es fuera de pista. And one day I went to the top of a glacier with a friend, un glaciar, and we started going down like wild guys. Like I'm talking faster than you go on a motorcycle. Like it was all powder. Era todo polvo. And I'm like, I'm going to go this way. My friend went the other way. And all of a sudden, I realized that I was coming to the edge of something and I couldn't see any further. No vi más allá. And I said, well, I'm going to brake. So I frené, hice un frenazo. And I am so lucky because I braked, I should say, I braked right on the edge of a cliff. Okay? A cliff is un acantilado. And I just remember thinking, wow, that didn't have to end that way. That could have ended because I couldn't see. So I would have just flown off this cliff and that I wouldn't be here telling you the story. And that was a wake-up call for me. That was time for me to say, Alberto, you are not invincible. You're not Shaun White. Shaun White is the most famous snowboarder in the world. So calm the fuck down. That was a real wake-up call. All right. Chris used it in the literal sense, que te llamen desde un hotel para despertarte. Pero, ojo, también es algo que nos pasa serio, que nos da un aviso, a strong warning. The next one, she says, our hotels, remember the pronunciation, say it with me, hotel. Our hotel's bellhop was very young. Excellent job. Bellhop. Yeah, bellhop. It can be a boy, a girl, right? Bellhop. And it makes sense. ¿Qué hacen cuando oyen la campana? Saltan. They hop, right? Whoop. What do you need, sir? A bellhop. So excellent job. We also looked at housekeeping, right? Eso es como decimos, pueden venir a arreglar la habitación. Also be careful with that false friend. Do not molest, no molestar. In English, a lot of when Anglo-Saxon, when English or American people come to Spain and they go to a hotel and says no molestar, they're like, oh my God, what kind of shit is going on in this country here? If they have to remember, molest is acosar sexualmente. So don't bother, right? Don't bother. To bother somebody, to bug, but to bug is más chinchar. To bother is molestar porque estoy durmiendo o lo que sea. All right? So good job, Chris. And the last one, she says, see you in the hotel lobby, foyer hall at 5 p.m. Well, normally we wouldn't say all three of them. Are you giving me three options here? Because you know. So I'll see you. La que buscaba era lobby. Lobby. De hecho, seguro que has visto en un hotel que tienen una L muchas veces en recepción, right? ¿Por qué? It's not reception. Reception is the desk. It's where they receive you. But the lobby is the whole thing. So let's meet. Guys, I'm going to take a shower and then we can meet in the lobby. Okay? Foyer? Yeah, but you wouldn't use foyer in a building is the only thing. And the other one, hall. Yeah, but a hall can be also una sala. So the best one, if you're giving me all three options, I'm going to go with lobby. Okay, the lobby. Because that word, I think it works for many more things. A hall, I think of más una sala de conciertos, de eventos, right? So that's, but also it is used that way, but only in a hotel. So it's weird. Again, lobby works for the entrance of any building. Okay. So, guys, if we have a fire drill, un simulacro, we'll meet in the lobby. The lobby is on the ground floor. You say planta baja. All right, excellent job. Folks, I can't believe it, but we have got to go to a quick commercial break right now. We are halfway through the show, but we have tons and tons of stuff to cover when we come back. We've got challenges. We've got our Say What soundbite for the third time, movies, music, and so much more. So, if I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Say it with me in 3, 2, 1. Stick around. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. This is the second half of today's show with No Name. Here to have some fun with all my amigos. And you can have fun with all the rest of my friends. All you have to do is download the free Vaughn Radio app. That's right. And you can listen to all our programs and learn English for free every day. That's the key word there, free. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know very many things that are free these days. Even, I remember I used to go to events, right? Oh, Alberto, we're having the premiere of this book or this whatever. I don't go anymore. But I used to go, and I remember a lot of times you would have to sit there for like 2 hours and listen to a speech from some CEO that you don't care about. Oh, this is our new restaurant in our... Just because they want you to take a picture and share it on social media. And I used to think about it. I'm like, wow, that drink, those hors d'oeuvres, aperitivos, they cost me 3 hours. And then I realized I'd rather pay. If I want a drink, I'd rather pay for it than have to sit there and listen to somebody spiel. La chapa de alguien. Es que somos el líder. Shut up. No amount of alcohol or free food is going to make me care. So it's like my dad said, nothing's really free. And here on Vaughn Radio, well, you need an internet connection, right? So you got to pay for that every month. or you need, on your phone, you need to have data. And of course, well, you listen to our ads, but I imagine being English learners, well, all our programs could be of interest to you, whether it's the Masters or the Disney Vaughn English stuff on the weekends, whatever it is. And as always, I like to let you know when we have special deals going on as well. All right, let's get right back into it because we've got tons of stuff to do here. It's time for Homophones on the Show with No Name.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name. Show with no name.
That's right. It is Homophones here on the Show with No Name. All right, the first word is elegir. No digo que elijas, digo es elegir, la primera palabra. So, elegir, okay? No es elección. I've heard a lot of people mix it up with elección, que es el sustantivo, right? So we'll take a look at that as well. Also, it is a verb that is irregular. And what can I say except I've heard students mix this one up all the time. This is a tough one to conjugate, okay? I think it's in the top 10 of irregular verbs that students, they just have a lot of trouble with it, okay? But we'll clear it all up here today for you on the Show with No Name so you aren't one of those students making those common mistakes. So the first one is elegir, escoger. Okay? Elegir o escoger. And the second one is the verb masticar, pero en tercera persona. So he, she, or it. Okay? So él mastica bien la comida. Ese, cuando lo empleamos con el he, el she o el it, o sea, con la S de tercera persona en presente. Okay, so there it is. Also, this word is used in echar una bronca. Okay, so si yo digo, él suele echar broncas, también sería esa palabra. Okay, also hay una expresión, to bite off more than you can, and that means el que mucho abarca, poco aprieta. All right, so we'll take a look at those more specifically when we reveal the words. But the first word is elegir, okay, escoger. And the second word is masticar, pero él, ella, o eso. The third person form of the verb masticar. All right, those are your homophones. We'll see if you guys are A, familiar with the words, which I think you should be, and B, if you know if they sound exactly the same or not. All right, also let me give you today's Say What soundbite for the third time. Hopefully those clues I've given you, esas pistas, will get you a little bit closer to figuring it out. Here goes.
I've been offered a tryout with the Hamilton Mustangs. I gotta play junior if I'm ever gonna play pro. All the scouts are gonna be there.
¿Te gustaría abrir puertas a nuevas oportunidades y estar listo para cualquier desafío? Con el máster de inglés del Grupo Vaughan podrás transformar tu futuro. Este programa intensivo te ayudará a dominar el inglés profesional, perfeccionar tu comunicación y ganar la confianza que necesitas para conseguir tus objetivos. Nuestros profesores Vaughan especializados te prepararán para afrontar en inglés todas las situaciones de comunicación en un entorno profesional. No dejes que el inglés sea una barrera. Invierte en tu futuro con el máster de inglés profesional del Grupo Vaughan. Llámanos al 91-133-5833 o entra en grupovaughan.com.
That's right, folks. That is our master's program. It's awesome. As I said to you many, many times when we talk about the masters, all of our teachers are amazing. but the creme de la creme, the cream of the crop, are in our master's program. Well, it's not for the faint of heart. No es apto para cardíacos. Why? It's an intensive program. If you're looking for something more along the lines of, fun, because yeah, it's fun. You'll have fun learning with all the students. It's definitely a fun experience, but it requires a lot of hard work from the teacher and the student, I should say. But if you're looking for something more along the fun side of things, you've also got Vaughan Town, which is an amazing initiative, definitely something worth looking into. And I know all of you who are listening right now, I know that all of you would make the most of it. You would come back buzzing. Just like, wow, that was amazing. And I know it. As I said, I've had many, many students who have gone and come back singing the praises. To sing the praises of something means to talk about how great it is, to rave. ¿Conoces la palabra rave? Un rave? Well, to rave about something means to speak very highly of it. So check it out. It's Vaughan Town. We've also got the Masters. We've got Disney Vaughan English, and we've got a plethora of materials at our online bookshop, or you can stop by in person. All right, let's go on over to our chat room over here and see what's going on. Chris Valrol says the two words correctly, and she says, I don't know. I'm going to say they're homophones. Okay, Daniela, good morning to you, Daniela. She says, and sound alike. So Chris isn't too sure, but Daniela, she's not second guessing herself at all here. Well, either way, you both have the same answer here. So let's see. I think there's one way to really, this is a way that's, you can't debate it. No se puede debatir porque lo oyes y tú ya sabes si suena igual o no. So the first word, choose. Okay, choose. I don't want to choose sides. No quiero elegir un lado o el otro. I don't want to choose sides. Now, here's where the problems come in. I've heard so many people say choosing, como la tercera columna. So write this down. Y te lo digo porque, si lo digo es porque lo he oído miles de veces, okay? Every day I choose to be happy. Elijo ser feliz. Yesterday, te toca. I chose to be happy. And lately I've chosen. Okay, so es raro porque muchos dicen choosing. O dicen, yesterday I choose, right? So it's choose, chose, chosen. Now, una forma de evitar esto completamente, usa el sinónimo pick. Yesterday I picked, yesterday I picked you to be on my hockey team. Lately I've picked you, right? Es más fácil. Ahora, hay algunos que no se pueden reemplazar. So you have to know choose, chose, chosen. All right, so the first one we said is choose. All right. Choose who you want, but he always chews everybody out. To chew out es echar una bronca. So choose whoever you want, but not him, because he chews everybody out. Choose, choose. Do they sound the same? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeehaw. So that's right. Choose and choose sound exactly the same. Also, choose are like caramelillos también. I forgot to tell you that part. Oh, man, I love those apple chews or those cherry chews. Son estos como like sugus, that kind of, right, chewy candy. We call them chews as well. So, as I said, to chew somebody out, that means to yell at them, to reprimand them, right? The good thing, chew is a regular verb. So it's chew, chewed, chewed. Okay. We also said to bite off more than you can chew. Piénsalo. Has mordido más de lo que puedes masticar. Se te ha quedado grande, right? You bit off. Acuérdate, bite es irregular. Aquí lo que cambiaría sería el verbo bite. Vamos a ver si lo sabéis. Every day I bite my tongue. Yesterday, Yesterday, I bit my tongue. Lately, I've bitten my tongue. Not beaten, bitten, because beaten is vencido. So bite, bit, bitten, right? To bite off more than you can chew. And what about to chew the fat? Oh, we always chew the fat here on the show. To chew the fat, another way of saying to shoot the breeze or to shoot the shit, es estar de palique. Okay? Hablando, pero no muy formal. Right? Hablando mucho tiempo, pero tampoco, right? So we were chewing the fat. To chew the fat, to shoot the breeze. Evidentemente vulgar, to shoot the shit. Pero se usa. And we've got another expression with chew. No sabía que tenía tantas expresiones aquí, but something to chew on. Algo para masticar. That means algo para considerar. Hey, if you do that, then this is a possible outcome. Esto es un posible desenlace. Hey, it's just something to chew on. Algo que deberías considerar, evaluar, reflexionar sobre. So excellent job to the ladies, Chris Valrol and Daniela. Daniela says, hi, everyone. Always listening, although not always participating. Well, we got you to participate. I guess those words really struck a nerve. Tocaron la fibra sensible. Welcome, Daniela. Great to have you on board. All right, but folks, we've got to move on because we've got lots to do. It is time for a section where we look at these little tricks, these things that can help you in life. We call them life hacks.
These are the life hacks you need to know.
Seguro que eres súper friki de Harry Potter y no te has dado cuenta de la cantidad de palabras que has aprendido sin darte cuenta. Por ejemplo, Hufflepuff. Hufflepuff viene de Huff and Puff, que es jadear. Estás agotado. Así que ya sabes por qué esta escuela se caracteriza por ser muy exigente y los alumnos van con la lengua fuera todo el día. They are huffing and puffing.
¿Y esa escuela que se llama Slytherin?
Slytherin, ¿de qué viene esa palabra?
To slither es lo que hace una serpiente.
Claro, por eso en esa escuela los alumnos son capaces de hablar con las serpientes. Y de hecho en el escudo viene una serpiente, tiene lógica. ¿Y qué me dices de Ravenclaw?
Esta tiene mucha chicha. It's very meaty.
Ravenclaw viene de Raven, que significa cuervo, y Claw, que significa garra. Es la garra del cuervo. Y si miras el escudo, ¿qué es lo que hay? Un cuervo con las garras agarrándose. ¿Quién habría dicho que podríamos aprender tantísimo viendo Harry Potter? Sabes muchísimas palabras gracias a Harry Potter, y no solo a Harry Potter, a películas, cómics, dibujos animados, videojuegos, todo incluido en This Book is the Shit, el tercer libro de Alberto Alonso
y Damián Moya.
No te lo pierdas, así se aprende.
This book really is the shit.
Wait. ¿Harry Potter or Harry Potter? Bueno, ya que estamos, we don't say Harry Potter. We say Harry. Suavizamos esa H muchísimo. Es una respiración. Harry. Y la O es una A. Potter. Harry Potter. Y la T es una D. Harry Potter. Well, unless you're British, then it's Harry Potter. Y la ER es una A al final también. So the British way, Harry Potter. The American way, Harry Potter, and the Spanish way, Harry Potter. You decide. It's up to you. All right. Well, as you know, I'm not a fan of Harry Potter. I've never seen any of the movies. I have ridden the rides. Me he montado en las atracciones de Harry Potter in Universal in Osaka, Japan. And that was fun. But yeah, I can't sit through a 3-hour movie. Sorry. I did see this past weekend. I went with my brother-in-laws, como no, mis cuñados, to go see Torrente, Presidente. Oh, it was funny. I got to say, it's not my cup of tea, but it was funny. It was funny. I have to say the whole theater, el cine entero, was laughing out loud. And I guess that made me laugh too. I'm like, bueno, si se están riendo todos, I guess let's laugh. And it was funny. It was goofy. You know, I don't think you're going in there expecting, the English Patient. All right, let's go on over to these life hacks. Now, what is one of the most important things in life? Okay, food, water. Yeah, that's right. Being active, right? Maintaining an active lifestyle, but also on the same level there, sleep, right? Getting a good night's sleep. And well, sometimes we don't do that because we have indigestion. Maybe we've got a lot on our mind. Some people even suffer from insomnia, right? Anxiety, things that keep us up at night, right? It happens to me sometimes before I have a big presentation. I'm up all night, and it's the opposite. You should sleep very well the night before a big presentation. But try and tell that to your body. So I decided we could take a look at, some sleeping hacks. Now, I don't think I snore. To snore, roncar. But my wife says I do. I can't prove her wrong, though. Como no estoy. I can't say, I always say, no, I don't. She goes, oh, yes, you do. And I said, no, I don't. She says, oh, yeah, you snore. All right. Well, some sleep hacks here. There are some things that we can do that can at least set us in the right direction to have a good night's sleep, right? A good night's sleep es una noche que duermas bien, right? Everybody, I think the goal when you sleep is to have a good night's sleep, okay? Conseguir dormir bien. Not tossing and turning in bed all night. To toss and turn is dar muchas vueltas, right? So to improve your sleep, well, it's kind of like everything. You got to have a schedule, a strict schedule, and it stinks because you say, well, during the week I do. And on the weekend, well, I wake up 3 hours later. Well, that's not a schedule. It has to be 7 days. Why? Because then it takes your body 2 or 3 days to get back to that schedule. So it's really important to maintain that strict sleeping schedule throughout the week. And I mean 7 days, not 5 days. Because that's one of the biggest problems. You're like, okay, well, during the week, I go to bed at 10 or 11, and on the weekend at 3 or 4. Well, of course, your body doesn't know what to do, right? You're confusing it. It's saying, wait, what's going on here? Some other tricks: keep your bedroom cool, right? It's better to have it be a little cooler than hotter, right? Because you can always, put another blanket on you, get under the sheets, or put on a sweatshirt or something like this. But once you're hot, oh man, just think of those nights in August, right? Remember those nights? Doesn't matter what you do. You're like, I'm going to die. I can't breathe. So you want to keep your bedroom cool. Make sure there's some airflow if you can. That's why it's not good to close the door, because air should be able to flow in and out. Another thing, you want the room to be pitch black. What does that mean? Sorry, folks, but no screens. Yeah, your phone should not be in bed with you or even in the bedroom. And I know that most people who are listening right now will tell me, well, how do I wake up without it? Buy an alarm. There you go. I just solved your problem. So, and you should avoid screens, not just, when you're in bed, but at least 1 or 2 hours before bed. You shouldn't be on any screens. It's unnatural, right? So that's another big thing. And what happens? A lot of times people can't sleep, and then I'm going to open up the screen and no, that's going to be counterproductive. All right. Also, there's an effective technique called the 4-7-8 breathing method. 4-7-8. They refer to seconds. So you inhale 4 seconds, you hold it for 7 seconds, and you exhale for 8 seconds. Hey, I'm telling you right now, breathing is such an important part of sleeping because it relaxes your muscles. And, it's part of, it's all connected, as you know. Also, caffeine in the afternoon. Some people say, I don't know why I can't sleep. You had a cup of coffee at 6 p.m. What do you mean you don't know why you can't sleep? Another thing that often helps, a warm bath. Un baño calentito, a nice warm bath. That's, again, doing the same thing as the breathing. It is relaxing your muscles, telling the rest of your body, hey, we're going to relax. We're going into relax mode. So these are just a couple life hacks to help you get something that I think everybody needs, a good night's sleep. All right, folks, it's time to move on, though, to our spelling bee.
Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee.
That's right, folks. That's right. This is our spelling bee here on the show with no name. And as you know, this is where we take a look at words that are linked in some way. And well, you guys hopefully can tell me what these words have in common. If you don't know that, don't worry. I prefer you just get the words because I will tell you what they have in common. All right, this is round one. Here we go. I'm going to fly, as I always do. The first one is ICE space HOCKEY. The second one is INDOOR space GAME. The third one is MONTREAL, comma, space QUEBEC. The fourth one is MONTREAL space GAZETTE. The fifth one is VICTORIA space SKATING space RINK. And the last one is JAMES space CREIGHTON. Whoa. All right. Now, I'd love to give you more time, but we don't have it. So I'm going to start round two right now, and I'll slow down a bit. A bit, not too much. Ready? Here we go. Round two. The first word is ICE space HOCKEY. The second one is INDOOR space GAME. The next one is MONTREAL, comma, space QUEBEC. The fourth one is MONTREAL, space GAZETTE. The fifth one, VICTORIA space SKATING space RINK. And the last one is JAMES space CREIGHTON. Folks, we'll be right back with the rest of today's show, so stick around. Welcome back to the fourth and final part of today's show with no name. Thank you so much for joining us every day here on the show as we learn, laugh, and play together. And remember, the fun never stops. You've got programming all day long. Just download the free Vaughn Radio app and you can learn English anywhere, anytime, any place. Or in the words of Shakira, wherever, whenever. So take us with you on your next vacation. Take us with you when you're at the doctor's office, in the waiting room. You got nothing to do? Learn a couple words in English. Learn some pronunciation hacks with my amigos and yours truly, un servidor. In this part of the show, we're going to take a look at today's Double Trouble. We've also got our Say What soundbite for the fourth time. We got our spelling bee, which, tough one. Oh, hang on. Just as I said that, Chris Valrol has pulled a rabbit out of a hat. And it looks right, Chris. So we'll take a look at the spelling bee. We've got Name That Movie, jokes, famous birthdays, and so much more, amigos. Are you ready for a little challenge? All right, well, I'm going to tell you something. Today's Double Trouble, I could have made it a triple trouble, easily. Yeah. In fact, I could have. It's used pretty often in idiomatic expressions. I know you know the word. All right, let's see if you know those double or even triple meanings of the word. It's double trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
That's right, my amigos. That's right. It is today's Double Trouble. And as always, I'm going to give you a translation, but this isn't your typical translation because you have to use the same word twice. All right, here goes. Cuando te despiertes mañana, vamos a su velatorio. De él, por ejemplo. Su, pues, see, Spanish can be confusing. Su, él o ella. Who are we talking about here? So I'll give it to you. Él. A su velatorio de él. Okay? So cuando te despiertes mañana, vamos a su velatorio. We'll see if you guys know this one or not. I think it's going to be an easy one, and I guess this is to make up for today's really difficult Say What soundbite and spelling bee, which, as I said, we'll take a look at the Say What soundbite in just a moment and the spelling bee as well. So, cuando te despiertes mañana, vamos a su velatorio de él. All right, that is your Double Trouble. Good luck, my amigos. Also, here's your Say What soundbite for the fourth and final time.
I've been offered a tryout with the Hamilton Mustangs. I gotta play junior if I'm ever gonna play pro. All the scouts are gonna be there.
Me pregunta el del chiringuito si quiero hacer kitesurf o wakeboard, o si prefiero tomarme un bitter cass antes. Me acaba de decir 5 palabras en inglés. Kite, que significa cometa. Surf, que es obviamente hacer surf, pero también significa oleaje. Wake, que es estela, en este caso la estela del barco. Board es tabla y bitter es amargo. Y justo antes, cuando le pregunté si hablaba inglés, me dijo, ¡pero patatero! Sabemos mucho más inglés de lo que creemos. Solo nos falta asimilarlo y situarlo. Aprende a aprender inglés en cualquier lugar con This Book is the Milk y su secuela, This Book is the Milk 2. Te enseñaremos cómo enfocar el inglés, aprovechando todo el inglés que tenemos alrededor y de una manera divertida y adictiva. The Remilk ahora se llama This Book is the Milk 2 y viene con audio y nueva portada. Descúbrelos ya en vaughantienda.com.
That's right, folks. You can pick up all my books and many other amazing books at Vaughan Tienda. Just go to our website, grupovaughan.com. All right, let's take a look at today's Double Trouble, which, again, I could have made it a triple or quadruple trouble, but I decided to be nice. Tener piedad. All right, let's see. Chris Valrol, she says, when you wake up tomorrow, we're going to his wake. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your superstar, Chris Valrol. Wake me up when it's all over. When I'm wiser and I'm older. What a great song, Avicii. Wake me up. So when you wake up tomorrow, cuando te despiertes mañana, we're going to his wake. I know what you're thinking, pero ¿cómo que wake? Despierto si está muerto. Well, they're not talking about the body, okay? The deceased, el difunto. They're talking about the family. So I can look, awake is called awake thanks to Google. Awake is called awake because it originated as a vigil. Vigil es para estar, no, a vigil. How do you say vigil? Para vigilar. Viene del verbo vigilar. A vigil. A vigil. Vigilancia. Observación. Okay, it says here. So it started as a vigil where family and friends stayed awake to watch over the deceased's body before burial. So there you go, folks. Yeah, I always thought, when my mom first told me, we're going to so-and-so's wake, I'm like, wake? But wait, I don't understand. It's the opposite of a wake. It's right. So when you wake up tomorrow, we're going to his wake. And as I said, it could have been a double trouble, a triple or quadruple. We looked at a wake-up call before, right? Un toque de atención. What a wake-up call. And also we've got the expression wake up and smell the coffee. Now, se puede decir a solas wake up y del contexto se sabe. En ese caso es espabila, despierta. Wake up, man. You're living in a different time, right? Wake up. Pero para rematar, ya, si quieres sonar totally native, wake up and smell the coffee, man. What are you thinking? So excellent job, Chris Valrol. Also, we need to go take a look at our spelling bee today. And, well, yes, folks, today's spelling bee had to do with hockey. We're really hitting the hockey hard today. Kyle Miller would love today's show. He's a big hockey fan. Also, Chris Frank. I used to go see hockey games, but these days I'm out of the loop. Okay, well, let's take a look at what all these words had in common. Chris had just one little mistake there, but no problem. Not bad. Not bad at all. Now, these words all had to do with the first ever organized indoor game of ice hockey. Okay, now ice hockey is the one played on ice, roller hockey, right? Kyle says there's only one hockey. That's what Kyle says, right? Ice hockey. Forget about roller hockey. So the first ever organized indoor game of ice hockey was played today in Montreal, in Quebec, in Canada. And it was recorded, right, grabado, by the Montreal Gazette. I guess it's a local newspaper over there. When you see the word Gazette, it usually has to do with a newspaper. So this was the first ever organized indoor game. So number one was ice hockey. Ice hockey. Remember, it's not hockey, it's hockey. Hockey. Okay. Number two was indoor game. Jugado dentro, right? Outdoor es que se juega en el exterior. So interior, indoor game. It took place, tuvo lugar, in Montreal, Quebec, in Canada. There's people who say Quebec, but Americans usually say Quebec. So I don't know. One thing is, you want to say it like us or you want to say it the way they say it? That's up to you. Number four was the newspaper that recorded it. Now, when I say record, it doesn't have to mean with a camera, right? Or with an audio recorder. Record en su día era grabar, escribir algo. So it was recorded, notado para la historia, by the Montreal Gazette. It took place at Victoria Skating Rink. Yeah, a rink is where people play hockey. In a rink, or where you skate. One of the most famous rinks in the United States is at Rockefeller Center, right? Have you seen it at Rockefeller Center? You've got the Prometheus statue, and then you've got a skating rink, and then you've got Rockefeller Center, these tall buildings right there. It was in Home Alone, many, many movies you'll see that took place. Also, another famous rink in the United States, in New York as well, is the Trump Woolman rink. Trump, because he bought it. It was a rink that was in Central Park, and it was kind of falling apart. Se estaba decayendo. And so Trump, I believe it was before he became president, bought the rink and put money into it, invested in it. So then they named it the Trump Woolman rink. That's awesome too. And it's a lot easier to get a spot on the ice there than at the rock. There's a pro tip. Un tip muy importante si vas a Nueva York en invierno. The Central Park rink is a lot bigger and less crowded. And you have views. I mean, you can't beat the views. O sea, las vistas de ahí, increíble. But I get it. You want to be in the one in the movie too. That's fine as well. All right. And last, James Creighton. And James Creighton was a Canadian lawyer, engineer, and he is credited with organizing this first indoor game that happened today in 1875. So there we go, my amigos. Excellent job, Chris. You know what's funny? You said hockey ring. When I was a kid, I used to call it a ring porque yo no oía la diferencia entre boxeo, cuadrilátero. So, we're going to the hockey ring. And I remember my mom said, it's not ring, honey, it's rink. So excellent job. All right. Also, Chris taking a stab at today's Say What soundbite. Looks good. We'll check it in just a little bit. But right now it's time for Name That Movie. Name That Movie. Yes. All right, folks. It is Name That Movie. Here we go. We'll see if you recognize this premise. As a new threat, remember, threat is amenaza. Threaten es el verbo. So as a new threat to the galaxy rises, se va levantando, Ray, a desert scavenger, and Finn, an ex-stormtrooper. Okay, so a scavenger. ¿Cómo se dice scavenger? Vamos a ver. Carroñero. Okay, so vultures are scavengers, buitres, right? Because they feast on dead animals. Okay, scavenger. But it's also chatarrero. Think about it. Recolector de cosas, right? Like, okay, same idea. Estás cogiendo cosas que están muertas y rescatándolas, comiéndolas, usándolas, lo que sea. So, Ray, a desert scavenger, and Finn, an ex-stormtrooper, must join, si no lo sabes aquí, no lo vas a saber nunca, must join Han Solo and Chewbacca, or Chewie, as we call him, to search for the one hope of restoring peace. All right. And Chewbacca, Chewie. That's right. Hey, we looked at the word chew before, right? Chewy, pues sería el adjetivo. Oh, these candies are chewy. Lo que no quieres es calamares chewy. So again, chewy can be a positive thing or a negative thing. If we're talking about something that's supposed to be chewy, like a candy, okay. But if we're talking about something that's not supposed to be chewy, that's difícil de masticar. So again, depending on the context there, it can be a positive or a negative adjective. And it's also what we call Chewbacca, chewy. The Wookiee. He's a Wookiee. All right, let's see. Chris says it's Star Wars episode. Oh, I don't know the episode, but I know it's called The Force Awakens. Hey, we looked at the word wake a lot today, huh? Here it says episode 7. I don't know the numbering sequence, but this is the long-awaited, muy anticipado, The Force Awakens. El despertar de la fuerza. Is that what you call it in Spanish, I think? All right, well, let's take a look. Let's take a look at the scene that I've chosen. Finn says, I'm not who you think I am. No soy quien crees que soy. And Rey says, Finn, what are you talking about? ¿De qué me estás hablando? And Finn says, I'm not resistance. I'm not a hero. I'm a stormtrooper, like all of them. I was taken from a family I'll never know and raised, criado, to do one thing. But my first battle, I made a choice. Mira, vimos to choose, es el verbo, choice es elección, que te dije que te lo iba a enseñar antes y no lo he hecho. Pues mira, I made a choice. Hice una elección. I chose. I wasn't going to kill for them, que no iba a matar por ellos. So I ran right into you. Así que huí. Pero dice, hasta que choqué contigo, right into you. And you looked at me like no one ever had. I was ashamed of what I was, avergonzado. But I'm done with the first order. Ya no quiero más. I'm done with the first order. I'm never going back. Ray, come with me. There you go, folks. The Force awakens. It's time to move on, though, because we're going to take a look at some awesome jokes.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar. You're joking.
That's right, amigos. And today we're going to be taking a look at some hockey jokes. Bueno, ya que estamos, we're here talking about hockey. Well, there's the buzzer. De hecho, tenemos una expresión, at the buzzer, en último segundo. All right, let's see if you get these hockey jokes. What did the goalie say to the hockey puck? The goalie is the goalkeeper, el portero. What did the goalie say to the hockey puck? And a puck is con el disco este con que se juega el hockey, sobre hielo. What did the goalie say to the hockey puck? Catch you later. Catch you later? No? Catch you later, te pillo luego al aire. That's what they do. They catch the puck. But also catch you later is hasta luego, right? Catch you later is a totally native way of saying see you later. Have you ever used this one? Catch you later. Catch you later. So it's catch you later, pero se dice como una sola. Catch you later. All right. Next one. Why would hockey players make good doctors? Well, they're always checking people. No. To check, revisar. But also to check in hockey is bloquear, frenar. It's when they take somebody and they slam them against the wall. That's check, to check. Guys, no checking in this game. Okay, to check. Es literalmente frenar a alguien, pero bloqueándoles, empujándoles contra la pared muchas veces. And that's called checking. But also to check is revisar. Okay, all right. Guys, I know they aren't the best jokes, but hey, if you learn some new vocabulary, that's cool with me. All right, it's time for famous birthday trivia.
One, two, three. Famous birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Oi. Birthdays for him. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
That's right, folks. It's famous birthdays. Number one, this guy was born today in 1992. He played Finn in Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Oh, really? Yeah. He played Finn. In fact, that was his international breakthrough. Also, he's been in other movies as well. Red, White, and Blue, Small Axe, The Woman King. They cloned Tyrone, but I've got to be honest, I've only seen him in this movie. All right, that's number one. Number two, this guy is unforgettable. That's what he is. He's unforgettable. He died in 1965, but was born today in 1919. An American singer, pianist, and TV host. And unforgettable. Smile, When I Fall in Love, Let There Be Love, Mona Lisa, Autumn Leaves. I mean, this guy's done it all. All right. Excellent singer. And last but not least, this American actor was born today in 1964. He was really famous in the 80s up until around the 90s, and then he kind of disappeared a bit. But he was in movies such as The Outsiders, St. Elmo's Fire, Wayne's World, Tommy Boy. He was also in one of the greatest hockey movies ever, Young Blood. Young Blood, that's right. Young Blood is novato, no? Sangre fresca, but that was also his last name. And a lot of hockey players have seen this movie and said, it's really accurate. O sea, hay veces que ves una peli y dicen científicos, esto no tiene nada que ver con lo que hacemos nosotros, esto es Hollywood. But many, many hockey players, I mean, they say it's a must. If you're going to be in the NHL, you have to see Youngblood starring this guy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, speaking of stars, there she is, Chris Valrol. She says, happy birthday to John Boyega. John Boyega, who was in the Star Wars movie The Force Awakens. Number 2, Nat King Cole. That's right, Nat King Cole. Even his daughter managed to be famous as well with her song Pink Cadillac moving down the street. So he's Nat King Cole. She's Natalie Cole. And there's a version of Unforgettable with both of their voices. If you haven't heard it, it's, wow, beautiful. And last but not least, Rob Lowe. That's right, Rob Lowe. He was huge in the 80s. Let's take a look at our Say What soundbite. This is Rob Lowe in the trailer for the movie, Youngblood, the hockey movie. And he says, I've been offered to try out. To try out es hacer una prueba, un casting. When are the tryouts? Are you going to try out tomorrow? Because I heard the tryouts are next week. So se usa como sustantivo y verbo. To try out, poner a prueba, es lo que te están haciendo, right? So he goes, I've been offered to try out with Hamilton Mustangs. Eso es el equipo. He goes, I've got to play junior, tengo que jugar junior, if I'm ever going to play pro. O sea, tengo que jugar en la liga junior si un día voy a jugar de profesional. I've got to play junior if I'm ever going to play pro. And then the last line is all the scouts, as we said, scouts are cazatalentos, all the scouts are going to be there. So excellent job, Chris. You got most of it. Here it is now that we know it word for word.
I've been offered a tryout with the Hamilton Mustangs. I gotta play junior if I'm ever gonna play pro. All the scouts are gonna be there.
And you can hear that slap shot. That slap shot es ese golpe fuerte que se da cuando jugamos al hockey, no hockey. Bueno, si no has aprendido nada de hockey, hoy solo nos quedamos con la pronunciación, hockey. Folks, that's for you. Excellent job, as always. You guys make me proud. Don't forget to participate in our question of the week. I think it's a fun one this week. We'll be looking at the first thing you do when you get home from a trip. You can send it to my email address. It's aalonso@grupovon.com. And today's song is I Don't Want to See Tomorrow Unless I See It With You. Oh, it's beautiful. It's a song by Nat King Cole. And if you'd like to sing along with me, well, you can Google the lyrics. Nat King Cole, I don't want to see tomorrow. Well, unless it's with you guys. So para usar la expresión que vimos hoy, I'll catch you later. Thank you so much, everybody. And we'll be back tomorrow with more. Ciao for now.